Hello, dear friends. This is Veronica, or Trinity, as you may know me, and yes, it's been over 2 years since I've done a video. That's because I didn't want to be just another voice shouting how bad it's getting without a plan to do anything about it. But now I believe the time has come to do something and do it fast. So if you're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel and you know it's a train rushing towards us and you're wondering what to do about it, this video is specifically for you. However, it's for you only if you live in South Africa, if you know that the jab was a bioweapon, if you know the ultimate goal of the globalists is an AI-driven, transhuman existence where we will be completely enslaved, that the Great Reset they've told us about is exactly that, and you don't want any part of it. If this is you, you are actually a part of a tiny minority of people that have researched and understood what is being planned for humanity. They have put it out there, but most people seem to be oblivious, don't they? And I'm sure, like me, you're absolutely horrified and sometimes think it's so anti-human, it just can't be true. And perhaps you've also just put your head in the sand because virtually nobody around you is talking of these things, right? It's all about their holiday or house they're buying or what their kids are planning to study, as if the world is just going to continue as is. And, well, what can you do anyway? Well, I hope you'll be relieved to know that there is a bunch of us getting together to do something radical about it. And I don't mean fight the system, protest, take down anything. No, far more radical than that. And that is to slip through the cracks. Our plan is to walk away quietly, without a fuss, away from the attention of both the controllers and our fellow humans that are too blind to see what's coming. On our own, this is impossible. Together, we have a chance. As a fellow freedom fighter and friend of mine says, the future will not reward rugged individualism. The future will reward tribes of the awake. So, we are absolutely in the last phases of the Great Reset, as they call it. And some of us know this is just one of many great resets, but that's beside the point. I do believe this reset is absolutely unique from all the others and is the boldest play for the entire enslavement of humanity that's ever been done. That's why we got to be sharp. We got to use everything we have to avoid their plans. Before I give more details on our plan, here's a little summary of what I expect in the next 4 years. So this isn't in any particular order, it's just what I reckon is going to happen from putting 2 and 2 together. This is the really bleak part of this video, but after this I will tell you about our plan in more detail, which will hopefully put a smile on your face and some hope in your heart. So initially, life will go on as usual, especially for the employed. Sure, things will get a little tighter, but all will appear okay on the surface, much as it does now. But then, I believe, things will go bad and quickly. So first up, I believe they're planning something big and nasty to justify 2 things: compulsory digital ID and digital currency. So this could be a world war, or any sort of war, another fake pandemic, drastic weather events, a geostorm that will knock out the power grid, anything that will make the masses panic and demand safety, which, as we know, means more control. They will also conveniently, for them, wipe out a few billion people. Oh, it could be a combination of these as well. It looks like war is inevitable with the script that Trump has been given to play. So there is a big pushback on digital ID right now. This is how we know they are planning something that we will not be able to refuse. Though then again, look at Mexico. They've mandated digital ID by the end of February 2026, and I'm recording this in January. No discussion, no debate, that's it. And every single country in the world has already agreed to implement digital ID. It's just a matter of time. We actually already have it. If you have the new white ID card instead of the old green book, you have it. But what's so important about digital ID? It is linked to your biometrics, that is your iris and your fingerprints. This, along with all the cameras they rolled out over COVID and a digital currency where everything you buy is tracked, will mean 24/7 surveillance of your every move. And all linked. So, for example, if you have a heart condition and your doctor has advised reduced meat and alcohol consumption, your credit card won't swipe on those purchases at the grocery store. Or, if your carbon footprint is deemed too big, you'll be limited in how far you can travel, for instance, and what you can buy. We've already seen in the 15-minute cities in the UK how easy it is to control access linked to your number plate. Digital ID is a massive clampdown of freedom. The collapse of the US dollar. For some reason, they want to destroy America and the American way of life. And actually, it looks like the UK too. South Africa will be partially protected because of our BRICS alliance, but the dollar collapse will still have a significant financial impact. I hope you have savings or another plan. Stick around. Worldwide food shortages have already started, orchestrated by them, of course. Millions of chickens and cattle are being slaughtered worldwide for no reason, and South Africa is no exception. These will get worse as we get closer to 2030. This means more food price increases as well as shortages. Expect crime to escalate as people get hungry. Smart cities. All the major and several smaller cities in South Africa are already basically smart. They just need an excuse to restrict us to them. Alongside this, I reckon there is going to be an obvious reduction in the population. Not like post-COVID where just millions are dying. They cannot herd everyone into smart cities. So their aim is first to kill off a few billion to make it easier to control the rest. Remember, a smart city is a digital prison without walls. What they're going to do with places with dispersed populations like KZN and Eastern Cape, I don't know, and I shudder to think, but it won't be good. Especially as the jab rate in these areas was one of the lowest in the world. I wonder what trouble Ramaphosa got into for that. The AI takeover of most jobs. People will start to lose their jobs and not be able to find new ones. Well, this has already started. It will speed up, however, exponentially as we approach 2030. Remember, businesses are all actively pursuing AI in the fear of getting left behind. A universal basic income has long been on the cards. When people are replaced by AI in the workplace, governments will have a problem. So we will be offered a UBI, but with strings attached, of course. It will be low, survival level, and we will be severely limited in what we can do and where we can go. If you think you'll be okay because of your investments and savings, with a digital currency, they can wipe it all out with a click of a mouse. Or ban gold and silver like they've done before. Of course, no government will be able to afford to pay all their citizens, which is another reason for a massive cull of the population. A condition of qualification for the UBI will of course be that you are fully vaccinated according to their schedule, and you won't be able to get a false cert as some of us perhaps did in 2020, as it will be tied to your biometrics via the digital ID, or it may be an implanted chip, which will really be a link to AI. I reckon the suicide rate will skyrocket, as people will have nothing to do but watch Netflix or play virtual reality games with no purpose in their lives. The implementation of the UBI, I reckon, will be expanded post-2030. They'll need to let the dust settle after the great cull. Please watch out for an apparently supernatural event, like the coming of Jesus or an alien invasion. This will be an incredibly realistic hologram worldwide. They will use this in some way to further the agenda of getting us further enslaved. There might be an offer of going to a 4D or a 5D world. This, however, will also be a trap. Amazing and seemingly hyper-advanced new tech may suddenly appear to supposedly improve our lives. This could be incredible new health tech like med beds or new transport systems, etc. I don't know what, but we will be invited and encouraged to take part in them. But they will be designed to trick us into the transhuman agenda, like, for example, implanting something in our bodies in order to access them. Remember, any implant is a link to the cloud, which means upload and download. That's tech control in our bodies. Then the wet dream of the globalists, a one-world government. I don't know if this will happen pre-2030, but certainly during or after. There will be a crisis so big we have to have a one-world government through the UN. They will tell us it is temporary just until the crisis is over, but we know different, don't we? And finally, a lot of media posturing designed to distract, give hope, deflect attention from what's really happening, and basically mess with our minds. But it will all be a load of bull. The march towards the agenda will continue regardless. So, in my opinion, the combination of digital ID plus digital currency is when the bars of the prison will slam shut. Because that's when they'll be able to track not only our every move, restrict what we spend our money on for either health reasons or because of a carbon footprint, but link actions to our ability to operate in society. For example, we'll only be able to get a job, get municipal services, go to a hospital, get our children into school, or buy anything with a digital ID and in a digital currency. And then not being vaccinated will be a crime. Please, however, do not waste your time protesting this, signing petitions, etc. They are going to do it anyway. And you want to stay below the radar starting as of now. So, my big question to you then is, are you ready for when they flip the switch for the Great Reset? Where will you be? What will you do? Will you roll over and take their jabs for a UBI when you lose your job? Accept living in a tiny apartment on top of thousands of others, crammed in with your family, restricted time outside and nothing to do but watch TV or play games all day? Have your brain hooked up to AI where every thought you have is read and your mind and emotions are controlled? If you believe like I do that there is a spiritual aspect to this, and that the anti-human forces behind AI thrive on negative emotions, well, guess what they're going to generate in your head? Certainly not love, joy, and peace. From what I'm seeing, very few of us right now are ready to refuse a digital ID or digital currency. I can guarantee you now that they will go ahead with this no matter what we do, how many people protest or complain or refuse. Then life will become impossible without the digital ID. And of course, when they flip the switch to a digital currency, there will be nothing we can do. They have our money anyway. Now, because none of us are ready for this, I have a controversial point of view, and that is, those are still not the line in the sand. I would say, go ahead, take the ID, continue in your job, earn a digital currency, support your family, but make plans until a line is crossed. And that line, I believe, is when they insist on some new jab or some sort of injectable insert in order to have a job, to shop, etc. Okay, sure, there may be something they are scheming that I haven't thought about, but we will know it when we see it. When that happens, you quietly close your laptop, pick up your bag, and exit the building stage left. So, we have a short space of time in which to prepare. What are we preparing for? To form an underground network of small, self-sustaining micro-communities all over South Africa. When the time comes, we quietly disappear, slip through the cracks, and live life on our own terms. Until then, we carry on as normal, but secretly prepare. The plan initially is just to survive what is coming in the 3 to 10 years after the Great Reset, while AI either succeeds and we all die anyway, or burn itself out due to some unexpected glitch. Is this even going to be possible? I don't know. What I do know is that I will do anything to avoid their plan. I refuse to roll over, met bene in die lug, and become a mind-controlled slave to the machine. Will prepping on our own be enough? No way. Too vulnerable. What about something like Oranje? In my opinion, too exposed, too isolated. DEW, anyone? We will operate quietly, as if we are behind enemy lines, in secret. We don't put our heads above the parapet, because we know we'll be in the line of fire. Okay, I flipped to a presentation because it's easier to show and tell than just tell. If we want to survive, the only way is to slip through the cracks. So the big picture plan is to do this by forming an underground network of small, self-sustaining micro-communities. We are hidden in plain sight. We are offline. We secure food, water, land, power and fuel for everyone first. Each community is autonomous. So if you speak Afrikaans or Zulu or are nudists or Buddhists or a mix of everything, you do you. There's nothing prescriptive. But we form a greater whole. So if one community is threatened, others assist. We support and help each other with ideas, strategies, supplies. So this way, there's no obvious leader to target, no movement to shut down because we're so dispersed. If one cell gets compromised, the people can move to another. The beauty about the plan is that you can start now, even if you live in a city. We will help you with the most important things to do right now and what to plan for. Spread the word only to people you know personally that are on the same page. Once we have the basics in place, we then look at defense, education for the kids, and medical needs. Flexibility, thinking on our feet, is going to be key. But so much easier with a network in place, where we can bounce off ideas and strategies and get other opinions. We form this network so that when the switch for the Great Reset is flipped, we are ready to step out of their plan and into ours. Before that, we carry on as normal, but secretly prepare like crazy. By the way, in other times of great upheaval and trouble, the ones who survived did exactly this. So if there's any chance of us making it, we're on the right track for sure. So why would you join? Micro-communities joined to a dispersed network brings skills and resources you may not have, safety, information, eyes everywhere, ideas you wouldn't think of, a support backup if things go wrong, human contact with others, which is going to be so important, help when you need it, and opportunities to share your skills. And of course, a much better chance of survival. Here are some of the roles that each community will ultimately need. Please screenshot this slide. You'll see why in a few minutes. Right, a healer. This doesn't have to be a doctor or a nurse. It is someone with even just an interest in healing. You don't even necessarily need qualifications. Most doctors don't understand health and healing anyway. So we're looking at herbalists or, somebody who's been researching health for a long time and knows how to keep people healthy. A grower, so this could be a vegetable farmer ideally, or somebody who grows or has grown their own fruit and vegetables. Dairy and egg farmer. With meat shortages, dairy and eggs can keep people sustained cheaply. So ideally, you need someone with experience with cows and chickens, or is willing to learn that skill now. A builder, so somebody with proper building skills plus a few others will come in super handy. A protector, so somebody fierce and strong, preferably who knows weapons, who's willing to protect the community and work with a team to do so. A hunter or fisherman, no need to explain this one, right? A teacher, so you will also work with other teachers in the network to set up a whole new education system based on truth. Then teach children of all ages. This, however, will be a second or even third phase activity. Initially, children will apprentice to each role. A researcher historian. So this is important because this person needs to gather and store information about the past offline, as this will be wiped out. This person will eventually teach this to the community. A spiritual anchor. So this is a person who will hold the beliefs of each individual group. Doesn't matter what those beliefs are, but you need somebody to keep it together. A navigator is someone older, wiser, who will lead the community through major decisions. She or he will also liaise with me and the rest of the network just to make it easier. How we do it. Okay, this is another slide you're going to need to screenshot. Firstly, you need to send me an email with the following information. So please just don't send me an email saying I want to join the network or something random. I need this following information. First is your name and your family's names, those who will join you, including children. And then your WhatsApp number and a bit about you and what roles you could potentially fill, including your children. That's where the roles slide comes in. We will then sort people into areas and place you in a WhatsApp group. You are only going to use this group for arranging the workshop, not for sensitive information, because we know that WhatsApp is controlled. Between you arrange a venue, that is someone's home for a full-day workshop, where we will together work the detailed plan. So you are going to set this up. Of course, communicate with me, etc., but you are doing the work to get us there. There is no spoon feeding in this network and in these times. Ideally, each person will have 12 to 30 people or family units attending. If you have 12 people already, brilliant, let's get going. The workshop. Okay, so this is a full day workshop, 9 to 5. Not a presentation. We will be workshopping solutions between us. The venue must be one of your homes in the group. Arrange a bring and share between you for lunch. Okay, so there are 3 levels of donation per individual or couple or family. The price is 500 Rand. Not each, per single person, couple or family unit. If your kids are over 12 and on board, I'd say it's pretty important they come along too. I'd love to not charge for these workshops. The reason I'm doing so are firstly because of human nature. People value things they pay for more than what's for free. It also tests your own commitment to this. I'm also going to use the funds for the network, travel, and whatever costs we may incur. $500 is less than the price of a dinner out. If you can't afford that, you may pay 200 Rand. If you would like to support the network by sponsoring others, you may pay 1,000 Rand or more. And then you may have to arrange accommodation in someone's spare room for one or two of us. We will discuss this per group in your WhatsApp group. The workshop, What We Do. This is the kickoff to your micro tribe. You will meet or bring your fellow members. Together, we will workshop the entire plan with detailed information on everything, like where to live, how to prepare, how we will keep safe and below the radar, avoid DEWs, etc., and how we will stay in touch with each other, even with no internet. We will start with what to do right now and in what order to ensure food, water, and power security for your tribe. Why we have to start small is because we don't know how soon their plans are going to take place. So we have to do the absolute essentials now, and then we will build on and add on those as we go. So this will include for each role as well as for the group as a whole. You'll learn how to prepare for what's coming, body, mind, and spirit. We will also touch on the spiritual confirmation from every religion and prophecies for these times. Yes, you will get a lot of information, like, for example, where to invest your money, but all of it will be practical. We are not discussing anything about the current situation and a big moan session on how bad it is. This is what you will walk away with: an instant micro-tribe, connected to a greater network of like-minded people. A shared tribe treasure chest, which is resources, money, you'll see in the workshop. An exact blueprint of what to do, in what order and when. A food solution, a water solution, an energy solution. A date for your next shared meal and your next strategy session. Connection with others in the same role across the country. So, for example, builders can talk to each other about special deals on power banks, things like that. Solutions to problems we can only solve together, fed back into the entire network, and much more. Next steps. Okay, so email me to join. My name is Veronica, and the email address is enoughsa@protonmail.com. Send this presentation to everyone in SA that you know who is on the same page. Guys, I only have a tiny network. For this to work, we need a lot of people. Or you can gather like-minded people and watch this presentation together and then act. Now, this is so important. Do not try to convince anyone who hasn't already seen the truth. Sadly, it's too late. If you already have a group and would like to join the network, please let me know. The more, the better. Email me any questions you may have, of course. Keep seeking truth. Don't get caught out by the lies that are going to be thrown at us. But don't get stuck in the drama and horror. Discover a lie and move on. Keep on track, keep preparing. This is key. Our ultimate objective is to live free, to fall through the cracks, stay under the radar by daring, stealth, cunning, and preparedness. Eyes wide, hearts open, shields up. We are soldiers behind enemy lines, and we have to start thinking like that. Go within daily. Find that still, quiet place inside you. Ask for help and guidance from your spiritual source. And finally, be discerning about who you share this information with. We now stand at the most dangerous century in human history. We have to be as wise as owls, as wily as serpents. We will live as warriors. We will find our tribes. We will not comply. We will leave behind those who do. We know that fear is the enemy. We will find our inner fierceness and become unfuckwithable. We will think 10 moves ahead and live strategically, and we will question everything, believe nothing. I hope you will join me on the journey.